I didn't change my description for this because the subject says it all. It is going to show you my Guardian fighter build. Now this is personal preference, but the way I've found the best to play a Guardian fighter is by tanking. There's just no getting around it, because DPS, you're just gonna die because you're too squishy. You could try to hybrid it, but I found it easier to do it the way I'm gonna show you here in just a minute. As soon as it loads up, but basically, this is a tanking build. Okay, we're gonna close all that out. Alright, now, basically, the first things first here, this has been tested. Guardian Fighter don't have a whole lot of healing skills. It's only really got one, aside from the potions. Well, two, actually. And you'll be using both of those in these loadout. So, we're gonna go over here to character sheet real quick, okay? So, like you can see, okay, I just got done with the Elemental Evil campaign with this character. I'm working on some other characters right now, but I just got done with the Elemental Evil campaign, and I'll show you that. Okay, let's see your campaigns. Elemental Evil is done. Okay, I have all the gear on from the last part of the campaign. It's all like 111 gear. It's like 111, 120 gear. Gave me my last artifact weapon that I needed to up my stats just that tidbit more. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go over here to the character sheet. Alright, so the style you're seeing right here, that is the Elemental Evil campaign gear. There's a weapon. You can't really see the weapon because of the armor, but it's pretty fucking cool. It goes with the shield, so it kind of looks like this shield. Anyways, so my stats, I went Constitution, Strength, Dex. I didn't really, see too much in Dex. I wanted the extra, strength and damage output and stamina regeneration for my shield, so that works out really well. I've got 85,000 health too from that because of all the Constitution. Next, I'm going to get into the powers here, okay? So, I've unlocked quite a bit of these powers. Okay, I've unlocked quite a bit of them. But basically, okay, I'm still working on getting more power points to actually level my fighter's recovery up. But it actually, it don't have to be leveled up too high for it to heal you the way it needs to be. Because it'll heal you for like 20,000 damage, 20,000 heal every time you do damage. But basically, okay, so Cleave is actually supposed to be this one right here, Crushing Surge. Okay, so that's going where Cleave is. And then we got Threatening Rush. Threatening Rush will actually let you charge. Okay, we're not going to be using Lunging Strike. Okay, we're not going to use that. We're going to use Threatening Rush. Threatening Rush will let you dash across the battlefield from enemy to enemy when you're close enough. That's what Threatening Rush is. These are my at-wills. So I've got Threatening Rush and Crushing Surge. Crushing Surge has a heal every time you attack. Now, it's not great heal, but it's good enough. Okay. Now, like I said, these have been tested, so I'm actually going to put that right there. Give me just a second here. My build is a little different because I was trying to help take down a really big enemy the other day when we was finishing up the Elemental Evil campaign. Right after we finished it, we did a level 70 skirmish just to test the build out a little bit. It does need a healer or a cleric, I should say, a cleric or Healadin, either one, to help you stay alive. There's no getting around that. Alright, so one of my actives is Enhanced Mark. You increase more threat from that. When you have an enemy marked, it's a big red X. Alright, where is the other active? talent? Okay, so I have shield talent. Your guard consumes stamina 5% slower. You don't actually have to use that one. That's the one I prefer to use because you're going to be blocking. You're going to be blocking. You're going to be doing this the whole fucking time. Damn near. You do get an attack, you know. You do get a shield. A little shield bash. If I could get it to work right. There we go. A little shield bash. A little sword jab. Now I did throw in, you know, I did buy, I'll show you here in just a second, as soon as I finish up these powers. Let's see here. Okay, so next, I'm having trouble finding these damn things. Okay, so I have Iron Warrior. Okay, this is one of the trump cards for holding aggro. Okay, this is a class that is to hold aggro and do nothing other than hold aggro, so your allies can take care of all the rest of the shit around. Plain and simple. Aggro, 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 all over the damn place. You're gonna have as many fucking monsters as possible. Now, what this right here does is, you gain temporary hit points based on your missing hit points, and your stamina regeneration is increased by 50%. In addition, all your attacks generate 200% more threat while the buff is active, and you gain 30% increased damage resistance. Okay, damage resistance is key factor to being a tank. Also, 200% threat from every attack. And hey, we even got, you know, enforced threat. Oh my good god. Yes, enforced threat. You're gonna aggro everything. And you know what? It's actually quite fun. It's actually quite fun watching everything chase you around while you're running in circles, you know, fucking backing up in circles, all kinds of shit. While your enemies are, you know, or while your allies are running after everything, fucking slicing and dicing, fucking super fucking dailies and all kinds of shit. Anyways, next one here is, okay, we've got both of the talents here. Okay, we've got both of the personals, or actives I should say. Now, Knight's Challenge, that's a risky one to have. I actually prefer my loadout having Frontline Surge or Anvil of the Doom. Frontline Surge works a little better playing tank because you can knock enemies prone, as long as you're not dazed. So like, it's got these 3 shields, and it's got a great big line. It knocks back by 3 foot or some shit like that, and it knocks them prone. You knock your enemies back, you make them prone for about 3 seconds. There's no harm in that. There's no harm in that whatsoever. Alright, so basically, the build is going to, you know, be looking like this. Those are the skills right there. But basically, you have that thing that's going around you. That's that buff from Iron Warrior. That little shield that circles around you. It's great to have. That's the damage resistance buff. You got 200% threat increase. You got your increased threat from the enforced threatening skill, and you've got your, you know, your knock prone right there. That's the knock prone skill. All right. Now, as far as the dailies go, okay. Now, I found Villain's Menace and Fighter's Recovery works best for this. Or you can change Villain's Menace out for Supremacy of Steel. Okay, Supremacy of Steel gives you a damage buff, resistance kind of thing, and it says you ready yourself to lash out at any who dare strike you, returning a portion of the damage you just suffered. So basically, it just sends everything that it sends about 70%, I think it is, about 60 or 70% of the damage you receive back at your enemy. But the ones that I found works best is Villain's Menace, because it gives you that immunity. It gives you an immunity to control effects, and it gives you a 20% increased damage resistance for about, I would say at rank 4 it's about an 8-second buff. But without rank 4, it is actually like a 4-second buff. And then my other one is Fighter's Recovery. It's an emergency healing skill when the healer ain't doing their fucking job. Because on the PS4, people just don't know what the fuck they're doing with a cleric. Or half the time with a paladin. So, those are the skills. Okay, my feat points, I ran 5 into Action Surge for more action point from guarding attacks. The more action points you get, the faster you can use like Fighter's Recovery and Villain's Menace. And then I went with Toughness. Your maximum hit points. Maximum hit points are key to this build. Okay, you gotta have as many hit points as you can, because the more you got, the longer you survive. Okay, I went with Armor Specialization. It increases the effectiveness of armor class and defense by 5, 10, and 15%. I could have easily, chose these right here. But here's what happened. I went with Potent Challenge. You generate 5, 10, 15% more threat. Great for tanking. Great for tanking. Everything's about threat. So you've got, off of, what? Iron Warrior, you got 200%. Okay, you got 20. 10% of that is 20. So you got 220 right there off of that. And you add that other 5%, you got 225% increased threat. I put 1 into Grit. Gain 1% of your maximum hit points and temporary hit points when you are healed by a player power. That would be either 1, the Devoted Cleric, or 2, the Healadin. Or Paladin, I should say. They call him a Healadin because he heals like a fucking freight train. Alright, what I did here is I went with Ubiquitous Shield. Reduce the damage effect of combat advantage against you by 5, 10, 15, 20, 25%. Now, a lot of enemies are huge, and a lot of enemies that you see will have combat advantage against you, and it is a high survival class. Okay, so this is what this is for. Alright, now into the Paragons. Okay, we went Iron Vanguard. We didn't go Swordmaster, we went Iron Vanguard, because it seemed like it would be tanking instead of, damage. I went with Plate Agility. You gain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5% chance to deflect attacks. Okay, if you already got a shit ton of a deflection, that just helps right there. 5% more to deflection. Alright, now this one right here, I went with Shield Defense. Gain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to your AC. I think it's like action cost or something. I'm not completely sure what AC exactly is, but I do know it's very effective for this character. If I was to remove that, I couldn't tell you where to put it, to be perfectly honest. You would need it somewhere. Maybe this right here or something, I'm not sure. Anyways, so next skill, Unshakable Line. Each ally within 20 foot of you increases your stamina regen. Now this is for your shield. Stamina regen by 2, 4, 6, 8, 10%. So the more you can get your shield up, the longer you survive. Alright, my next skill was Shield Master. Guarding drains stamina 2, 4, 6, 8, 10% more slowly. Now that don't even make sense, but it's 10% slower is basically all that is. I think they should reword that, but you know, shit happens. I could have easily took this or this, but I went with the Brawling Warrior. Knight's Valor increases your damage resistance by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5%, and Enforced Threat deals an additional 2, 4, 6, 8, 10% damage and threat. So, that being said, we have Enforced Threat. We could use Knight's Valor, but why would we do that to a bunch of randoms that might try to kill us off? Seems a little fishy. Yep, seems a little fishy. So we went with 10% damage and threat to Enforced Threat. Alright. Next, we went with encounter cooldowns reduced by 2, 4, 6, 8, 10%. So we have 10% encounter cooldowns. Encounters are, you know, Enforced Threat, Iron Warrior, those skills. They cool down 10% faster. And it's always nice to have a speedy tank. If you can get your skills out there, hell yeah, do it. The faster you get your skills, the more shit you're doing, the more threat you're keeping, the longer you can stay alive, keep your team alive. Now you might not stay alive, but you can keep your team alive. Alright, so Daunting Challenge. Okay, marked targets now deal 2, 4, 6, 8, 10% less damage to your allies, but still deal full damage to you. Now remember, this is a character that's going to keep your allies alive. They can do the damage, you can't. They do the damage, you tank, they heal. It's all good, as long as they've got the right fucking setup. Now, anybody on this game, and you know, everybody I've seen on the PlayStation 4 playing this game that's playing a cleric usually is running DPS. I don't know why, but people are fucking retards. And that's not even nice to say, to be perfectly honest, but it's true. I should be like, I don't tank for idiots. But, you know, I don't really feel like putting that out there. But here's the last skill that I went with in my Paragons. And it's allies within 30 foot of you gain action points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5% faster. Now this is not for you, this is for your allies. The faster they can get their supercharges out, the more damage they're going to deal. Alright, now as far as my boons go, the only one that I've actually completed is my Elemental Evil. Okay, so I went straight down the bottom for the first 3, for the extra defense, the extra regeneration, and recovery, as well as hit points. Now regeneration's not a big factor. You could have went with lifesteal, but lifesteal, in my opinion, just as a tank, just isn't worth it. There's no point in having a shit ton of lifesteal on a tank when you're just a fresh level 70. I mean, yeah, it's nice, but who cares? Alright, this last one is the Wall of Wind. When taking damage, you have a chance to heal up to 24,000 hit points over a few seconds. After this effect ends, your recovery is increased by 1,000 for 10 seconds, which will really help a healer heal you guys. So basically, it's just straight it's just straight gambling on how good your healers are, how strong your DPSs are. It's just one of them times that, you know, it's really just a big gamble, especially if you're going in with random groups. Other than that, guys, I will see you later. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this helped you out in any way, please hit that subscribe button. I'll keep you informed on some new stuff. Until next time, I'll see you later. Don't forget to have fun, guys.